up guys, Davemainer1, 2 and 2, and it's discussion video day. Hey, check it out guys, I got the green screen set up again. Thank you to my roommate for helping me with that. It's a lot of work, it's actually really big. Link Day is come and gone, and we are well on our way to the sneak peek of the next set, Code of the Duelist. And with Code of the Duelist, we get all the fun, crazy Link monsters that are swarming into our game. And in recent memory, I can't think of anything else that's been more divisive in the community than Link summoning. I guess maybe Pot of Desires. But that's one card. This is a whole mechanic we're talking about. I think the biggest point of contention that people had with Link summoning was pretty much it comes down to you kind of have to play it. With all the other special summoning mechanics that we have in the game, they're pretty much tied to specific decks, and if you don't want to play that mechanic, you just don't play that deck. I, for one, like Xyz, but I've never been a super big fan of Synchros. I don't know why. However, with Link summoning, you kind of have to play them. Because if you're playing a deck that spams any of the other types, you need Link monsters to kind of get your deck going. And I think this kind of concept really rubs some players the wrong way, making people do something. So there was tons of gloom and doom and pissing and moaning and people threatening to leave the game. But now that we've gotten a hold of a couple of these weird blue cards with red arrows on them, I think I'm going to finally kind of give you guys my more constructive opinion of the whole thing. Yu-Gi-Oh! Day was really fun. I managed to play 5 rounds of Swiss coming in top 8 with nothing but the starter deck. It was a long, grindy 5 games and Marshmallow 2 strong, but it was really fun to kind of get the hang of the Link summoning mechanic and kind of laugh at the fact that the starter deck is actually pretty bad at Link summoning. Though some of the spell trap reprints were pretty good, and I like that Draconite thing that summons the vanilla from the deck. That's a cool card. But now that I've got my paws on the Link summonings, let's get to it. I think I'm going to split this video into 2 parts, things that I like and things that I don't. And I think we want to start with things that I don't so that we end on a positive note. Right off the bat, the first thing you'll notice is that your card placement matters. And I know that seems obvious, but it's not as obvious as you think until you really start to play the decks. Because a couple times during the tournament I noticed I'd play a monster in a zone and then I'd go to do something and I realized I can't because there's something in the way. You have to think a couple moves ahead in order to get your deck to actually make the most optimal plays, so it certainly makes things harder. Sure, once you get used to it, it probably won't be a big deal, but at least off the bat, there is a learning curve to the whole thing. And because of that, that means the misplays, at least initially, are gonna be real. It's a really strange concept to get your head around that you can misplay by simply placing a monster in the wrong zone, but oh boy, do you feel stupid when you do it. Another thing that I don't like about them, which is probably a non-issue come down the line, is that we don't really have a ton of them yet. I feel like if you're gonna completely change the game and make everyone's deck run these things, we should get like a bumper crop to start off with just so that we all have options in order to like retrofit our decks. But instead, we got 3 and then we get like a handful more. I mean, granted, Firewall Dragon's really good, but we still don't have a bunch, which is probably why in the OCG, most of the top decks are still just like avoidance decks, like True Dracos just doesn't care, we don't play Links anyway, so screw it. Because we don't have enough of them at our disposal, and we won't have enough of them at our disposal for a little while at least. And that just seems like an awkward thing to do when you're trying to really sell people on this mechanic. But that's about all I could muster to actually talk about what I don't like about them. Having actually played them, I actually found that I like them a lot more than I dislike them. So let's get on to the good stuff. Right off the bat, it really does make you consider where you're placing your things. Which I know I just said was a kind of a negative thing because of the learning curve, but once you get the hang of it, it actually kind of gets fun. I know that must seem really weird for people who haven't actually gotten to pick up the mechanic yet, but it kind of makes it more of a strategic, chessy kind of style play, which would be really cool if the Chess Archfiends got to retrain and actually used like the zones or something. That's patent pending. But the extra level of strategy just embedded into the game is inherently more fun. Because that means in the future we're going to start coming up with really cool strategies like, oh, against this deck, if I play my Link monster in the zone to my right, it screws up their monster because they want to be in that one as well because of how their boss monster points his arrows and things like that. Like there's going to be weird floodgatey strategies, but simply just card placement that's going to actually make the game really strategic. Another thing I really liked was the effects are kind of cool. Decode Talker attributing a monster to negate a targeted effect by attributing a monster that's in one of his linked zones. It's just kind of cool. It makes all those wily pendulum players play their cards in the right spot so you can actually keep track of what they're doing as opposed to fanning their graveyard, fanning their extra deck, fanning their scales all over the damn place is some sort of weird fucking... Put your shit where it goes! As well as opening up some really cool possibilities. I think one of the monsters I'm looking forward to the most is the new Spiral Link monster, simply because he fixes so many problems the deck has, and the whole deck does a complete 180. And not just Spirals, a deck that I actually really like to play is not getting to support. That's not just why I like the idea of Double Helix. I like the idea of Double Helix because it means that with this new strange mechanic, there is new ways to fix old decks. Certain decks just were stuck where they were, and it wouldn't really matter what support you gave them because they're just inherently clumsy and old and archaic. But with something that completely just changes how the game works, this really does open up possibilities for, you know, kind of how to finagle our way around and actually make some really cool legacy support cards. If Konami gets off their butt and starts releasing Link monsters for old decks, I think you'd find the players really appreciate that, because that's the kind of legacy support that's not only going to be good, it's going to like be really good and make decks work again. Double Helix summoning a monster from the deck is just icing on the cake. The fact that you can turn any 2 Spirals into a super agent is what makes that card so fantastic. Opening Quick Fix and Machine Dupe gives you a buttload of quick fixes, but if you don't have a super agent, you can't use any of the crap you searched. But you got 2 quick fixes now, make them a super agent. Boom, now you can make your plays. That kind of just little tiny change to the deck makes it work, and that really gives me a lot of optimism going forward. But these are just my thoughts getting the initial taste of the Link format. I'm actually curious to what you guys think, if you guys are still all doom and gloom, or if you guys got a chance to play it and you're kind of warming up to it. So let me know down in the comments below what you guys think, and remember, if you don't troll the better, who will? I'll see you guys next time.
Oh, hey losers. What are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Wanna watch something else? Hurry up and choose one of these. Ugh. When are you gonna make a choice? This year would be nice.